If Vincent Vocoder voice had a god narrator, then full heart, deaf ears was an act of deicide. Deus absconditus. The basement beneath depression. It's fucking house of leaves down there. Thoughts turn Escher-like. Hierarchies become heterarchies. Panic. Vertigo. Then, a comforting epiphany. You didn't stray into this labyrinth. You were born here. You just never noticed until now. There are no exits. There is no such thing as a way out. These dark corridors are everything. And as this realization arrives, so the panic and vertigo departs. You roll a cigarette, you sit down. An empty smile breaks over your face. This isn't an oubliette. This is weightlessness. This is freedom. All your life, such useless struggle. But now you see clearly for the first time. Relief soothes your racing heart. And then you hear the roar. Voices piped in from invisible speakers. A psychoanalyst, Darien Leader, is talking to you about symptom and structure. The symptoms of anxiety, depression, and psychosis are near universally the same, but our webs of thought, belief, and unconscious symbolism are obscure and idiosyncratic. Now he's asking you a question. What is madness? There is a difference, he says, between being mad and going mad. A woman walks into a bank on her 70th birthday and demands a reward, 10,000 francs for maintaining her virginity. She's held this delusion her entire life. Nobody had any idea. He suggests calmly that perhaps you may have finally gone mad yourself. The roar comes again, closer now. Another voice chimes in. He sounds Russian. The man introduces himself as Lev Shestov. If you are mad, he says, and this labyrinth is an apotheosis of groundlessness, then all things are possible. Maybe you want something. Think about it. You think about it. Some company would be nice. She's there, but she's not. Sometimes you catch a glimpse of her, but it's like an afterimage. A hint of screen burn grazing the featureless wall in the corner of your eye. For mile after empty mile, you walk like this without exchanging a word. Carl Jung babbles in the background about the anema. He warns against talking to her. She isn't real. It will not end well. You ignore it. She loves you. You love her. You come across an injured animal. Burn it, she says. You burn it. Why did you burn it, she says. You've made her cry. You walk on, grim-faced. Every so often, the sobs at your side veer suddenly into manic chokes of laughter. Unnerved, eager for approval, you join in. The laughter stops. You feel horrified eyes burning your cheek. You wonder why, if you can invent anyone you please, you would choose to invent someone like this. Dry voices chuckle from the speakers. Choose? Something gleams in the antechamber ahead. It's a mirror. You approach. Chintzy scrollwork crowns the frame bearing a living inscription of moss and beetles. The language is unfamiliar, yet somehow you understand it. It reads, Hollow Chest. Hands shaking, you fumble open your shirt as the screen burn giggles from a place just beyond your peripheral vision. A pectus excavatum. Your ribcage is deformed. You look down, patting at the wave of your warped sternum. When you look up, a crust of salt streaks your brow, and there is something protruding from the center of your head, a dark nub pushing through the hairs. It's tough, rough. A man in Persian dress walks into frame, making you jump. You stare at one another in the mirror. A snake wraps his wrist. An eagle slumbers on his shoulder. You're a mess, he murmurs, and shuffles away into the dark. The roar comes again. Startled, you look about for her. She's hiding. A shiver in the shadows, then a noise, quiet and careful. Months pass in the dark. The roaring thing skulks, sometimes near, sometimes far. You have never seen it. Your antlers have grown so large their tendrils scrape the walls. Your head bows to the weight. Your back buckles. Your earthen crown oozes salted muck, stinging your eyes. She looks on, bemused, as you converse in catechisms with the naked walls. You transcribe the silence in scripture. Fine filigree, subatomic. The Tractatus Illogico-Philofaxus. Helatron drone. Acoustrix. The point of pointlessness is that it is pointlessly pointless. Life is the turbulence of everything decaying at different speeds. Life is the turbulence of everything decaying at different speeds. Life is the turbulence of everything decaying at different speeds. Legs heavier and heavier. Now the ground is sandy and it is rising slowly to meet you. Dawn becomes morning, becomes midday. Light clatters the gorse and heather. You realize you are sinking, walking down into your grave. Clutch yourself, count it out. 1 to 4, slowly. Again. Keep walking. 100 crows on the tree line. Army land near Aldershot. Tank tracks and fat dead fish gawping from the weeds of Basingstoke Canal. The world lurches and stills. Hot feet in your ragged boots. Hungry, lonely. Tip City puts out the record and prints the book. The art of Claire Barrett adorns it all. It is wonderful. You couldn't ask for better friends. You don't recognize them. You don't recognize anyone. You feel everything. You feel nothing. The world lies in every direction, but you aren't in it. The labyrinth remains, a shadow superimposed over everything, a phantom burned into the screen. You inhabit your own life as an imposter. You don't belong here. You move 500 miles from everything and everyone you know. You pick up a guitar. You listen for the roar, the bittersweet flute of her voice, but nothing happens. Somewhere, something has broken. A theory of everything can have no addendums. All else is Nyquist noise. And then the trouble begins.